You're listening to Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Redman in the House. Hey, it's a podcast. Hey, we have recovered from the heat and the sun.
Oh, what a
All,
4th of July,
but
huh?
all that fun that we had, what a 4th of July celebrating America 250 years, running strong. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
we might have done some wrong, but we're still running strong, just like we're running strong here on the Redman podcast. We've been having a lot of fun. You know, last
yeah.
week's episode was so special, though. Check
Oh, yeah.
that out. It is the last episode there, that especially that open with all the veterans up on that stage.
Oh, yeah. That was
You're up there.
that's a
It's
moment.
it's something that's very emotional for you.
Oh, yeah. It's hard on me. And then think of that day. I mean, it was off the charts. The guys at Chopper, they were loving it. People were flying, getting their flights and going. And it was just a great
Well,
day.
to kind of let people know, you know, we do it each and every year. We shoot for
Mm-hmm.
that Saturday, whichever it feels comfortable around 4th of July,
Right.
to invite people in for a great day of. It's just a celebration of America and to really honor and thank our veterans there. Absolutely, it's highlighted. If you check out that last episode, right at the open, we bring everybody up on stage.
Right.
Proud to be an American.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody standing in good attention, never a dry eye in the house going on with 6 years strong with that,
Oh,
correct?
God, yes.
We got the Huey helicopter rides each and every year. They bring in some vehicles. There's other activities. And you know what really I was kind of reflecting as I was doing the editing on the video, Redman.
Mm-hmm.
I think my best memories, it is awesome with everyone on the stage, but it's the one-on-one time when you sit down and have the conversations with
Oh,
the
yeah.
vets.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to learn about their lives. And I remember telling one, I'm sitting with Bobby Holtkamp, a good friend of ours, very,
Mm-hmm.
very, my big brother. And he introduced me to someone, and he kept asking me, he said, "You keep looking around." I said, "I'm listening, but I'm looking around because it's so extraordinary to me, all these veterans that come from different walks of life, from different personalities, different backgrounds, now different lifestyles and all
Mm-hmm.
that, but we all come together for one unity, and that's
Right.
the red, white, and blue."
Well, and one of the future members here, I'm waiting on his paperwork. His wife had never been on a helicopter. And she went on it. She was like a little kid in the candy store. When she got off, she says, his paperwork will be in here soon. They were tickled to death. They said, what a day. I said, that's what it's for. Relax, enjoy. It's no special day like Veterans Day or Memorial Day or whatever. It's just think of Vets Day. I don't care where you serve. If you served any time at all, I had one lady said, I was only in like 6 months and they let me go. And I said, you got an honorable discharge, right? Yep. I said, you were in. You know, you served 6 months. You give your 6-month life to your country. So, you know, hey, that's what it's all about. Honor our veterans, keep them in our minds, just like we, when we get into our memory of the drag
That's
racers,
what the things that we love. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
stories of the unsung heroes, keeping that memory alive,
Mm-hmm.
passing it along. Now, you mentioned something very interesting. I'd like you to touch on here. Someone that was so touched, so moved by the event itself, they wanted to join. They want to be a
Right.
part of VFW 7570. How do they do that out there?
Well, you have to be boots on the ground, as they call it, which if you serve Vietnam, naturally Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq, Germany by the wall, if you were there before it was torn down. Korea's still active. So if you go to Korea, and you can join the VFW, which is the part I'm in. We also have a Do Well Association, which is a catch-all that catches family members, maybe veterans that didn't serve
Supporters.
overseas, but they want to be a part of the VFW. And that's what we do, and we get members to come because we have so many activities for folks. They were getting over, you got cruise-ins, car shows, bike runs, you got this, music, you got things. I says, we want to keep people a place to go and have fun. Be happy. Like me and you talk all the time. Every event we talk about, hey, how much ugly's out here. It's a place to get away from the ugly for
Well,
a while.
outside of that, because I was just, the dual post 7570.
Mm-hmm.
So even myself, I'm a dual member.
Right?
Didn't have the opportunity to serve, but I want to come down here. I want to contribute.
Yeah,
Once
you
you get
be a
into
part.
this environment, it's infectious.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun. It's such a good time.
And a lot of places think we're just a place to come and drink. No. It's not all that.
No, I think
We do
that's
different
secondary.
things. Yeah, secondary.
That is absolutely secondary
And
to the
it's a
amazement.
place to come in
So
and
for the
help
dual,
veterans.
it's so easy. It's what, $10 a year?
$10 a year to be a duo member, yeah. And you help, you help maintain the post. You help us with activities like fish fry. And when we do the children's event, get a couple bags of candy, trunk or treat. what fun to see the little kids come
Right.
around. You think,
Or as we do
and
here
they see
on the
veterans.
podcast, spreading the good word all
Yes.
across the country, all across the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's nothing like it. I wish more folks would get involved, but sometimes it's hard, or
Mhm.
they're struggling to maintain, and I'm just one of those go-getters, as the racing community knows. I like keep things moving, have fun, enjoy, keep it happy, keep it fun. When we lose the fun, we lose everything. It's like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it all the
Right.
time. It's like,
Well,
it's great.
if you're not trusting in his words, he says a hard time explaining it. Redman does here. Come down and experience. Again, it's the Harrison VFW 7570,
Mm-hmm.
Harrison, Ohio. Looks up. There's entertainment every week. There's activities. There's something for everybody. Hey, even the AM every third Sunday, we got an amazing
Hey, yeah,
breakfast. We've
breakfast,
got live
yeah.
views. It goes on and on. As we're recording here, we got a beautiful hall. If you're looking to host
Mm-hmm.
like a wedding, just a party, a charity event, a
Mm-hmm.
trade show, we absolutely have that.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's what we do here. And we got an event Sunday, I think. I don't know what it is.
Sunday at
Sunday
the
here. Next week is
VFW.
the breakfast, the 19th.
Great
And
place to watch games. They can put a
oh,
logo in
God,
there
yeah,
for
we
the
got the new
19.
TVs up.
Right?
New TVs up in the cabana so you can see all the Reds or
I wish I
Bengals
would have had
or
some
whatever.
video of me and Pirate trying to figure out how to work those on Saturday, but
Oh, yeah. So we're
that
working
would have
on.
been like America's Funniest Bloopers. Me and him out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That's
But
that's Pirate, man.
right, but we're trying to, just keep building and keep working and keep growing, and just have fun. If you're in the area, stop. I'm telling you, you'll really like it. Some of my racing community has stopped, and some stay tonight, and they really enjoy it. They go, "Wow, you got a really neat place." And then I'm on Facebook with some said, or I see them at a race and go, "Red, I wish I lived closer. We'd love to be there." They see the stuff we got going on. They follow us, so. We're on Facebook, so follow us. We'll have pictures and stuff, everything we got on. Helicopters on there. If you get on Facebook on me, you'll see it. Look me up, William J. Floyd. You'll see the little decal, my little decal. That's me. Send me a friend request, and you'll be following us all the time.
Absolutely. So much going on. Well, we're starting to show up here as remembering last weekend. It was such an
Mhm.
incredible event. We got some big announcements.
Yes, I got to be the first to congratulate you on your new endeavor with the Gravel Rama, you rascal, you. I
Well,
told you big things are in the
hey,
fold for
when we
you.
started this show, Redman said, "Hey, baby, I'm going to take you on a ride. We're going to head somewhere." So yeah, I got reached out to this past week by some of the organizers at Gravel Rama. I'll be taking this voice from Edgewater right down the street to Gravel Rama, a little off the pavement, little drag racing. But I'm looking for that up. Hey, what an honor!
Oh,
I think
God,
that they've
yes.
been going over 50 years,
Oh, yeah.
half a century. I think they're 55, Sean. And
Mhm.
going so doing my research on that. We're going to do a lot of promotion. But for them to reach out to me and say, "Hey, we'd love to have your voice, your enthusiasm, what you bring to an event, be a part of this," such an honor.
Mhm.
And really, in the racing world, man, what an event to be a part of.
Oh yeah, and then we donate to them. We help them out with their basket of cheer. We
Oh,
help them out, and then a couple of them come
well, we
here.
might have to get there and do a show.
Right, a couple of their members come here and they enjoy our music every weekend. And oh yeah, it's a great venue down there. And like I said, you got Big Daddy's Garage wanting to
Well,
talk to you, and you got
I got to tell you,
Benson.
when they called me up, I just kind of answered on it, hello, and this is who we are. We'd be interested in this. It completely blew me. I was so honored, so taken away by it.
Heck yeah.
And to see, between this, the race report, and my time at the Summit Racing Equipment Tower down there at Edgewater, just, a lot of it is, for money out there. Self promotion. And I put my stuff out there. We get this and that. Don't be afraid. And whatever your thing is, don't be afraid to step out there. You don't know what incredible doors are going to open.
Exactly.
I feel like Colonel Sanders because I'm old now. He didn't
Ah,
get it. He didn't find his group till he was old too.
yeah, you're just getting mature now.
Yeah.
I guess would be
You know
a good
what?
word.
Hey, it's just like those rides.
Uh-huh.
All the time you put on all those runs pay off. Then you start learning your
Exactly.
car. You start learning your runs.
Yeah.
And in wrestling, we call it the bump card.
There you go.
When you take those falls on the mat, it takes you about 10 years. As Rip Rogers would say, though, after 10 years, your body's so beat up, doesn't matter if you. But hey, you're getting ready for a little trip.
Yes, getting ready to go to
You're heading to
Nashville, my
your favorite city.
town. Oh God, I love that town. I love the music. Faye and I go, and we meet. We know a couple bands down there and everything. We follow a little bit if they're in town. Great time. Every day there's different music in every venue, and if you've never been, you got to go one time for the experience. I'll tell you, best time to go. Don't go when they got something going on because it's a zoo. Go like a Sunday through Thursday. Less crowded. Bands are
On the
just as
weekend, get
good.
the hell out of
Oh
Dodge.
yeah. But it's so great. And you always check in. You can call down there like the hotel we stay at. Hey, anything going on these weeks? No. But that week there's the MCA awards, or there's this, or there's that. So you don't want to go away from that because the motel rates go out of sight. And it's a packed house. I don't know if anybody saw a film of MCA awards. Broadway was, oh my God, I don't know how you stood in that crowd, but it was
Now,
packed.
have you ever found any musicians down there that you brought here to the VFW?
No, but they have talked to me about maybe coming. We just never sit down and really work out the details.
That'd be kind of cool.
But I have had the luxury of meeting some of the stars here and there occasionally, because you never know who's going to pop in one of them venues down there. Like the last time we went, we met one of the singers out of Lone Star, a little bit of Texas, and Restless Heart.
Wow.
And I was right in the front row when I found out they were there. Man, that was great. And then we got to meet the original lead singer of the Kentucky Headhunters one year. Yeah, it was neat seeing
I
him.
think you should fund like a business trip one weekend. We can just film you the whole time, see who we can
Ah,
talk to. You know, maybe we could upgrade from our bottle opener microphone.
oh yeah. Oh, but it's neat though. I mean, and you meet a band down there, they're so personable, and they like you to be personable. It's not like kind of bands around here you get to follow, right? Of course, I know them all, but because I book. But the thing is it's they're so personable. And there's one little guy. He reminds me he belongs in ZZ Top. Got the big full beard, got the American flag draped over his flag stand or mic stand. And I walked in, and you walk in, and then the stage is back this way. So when I walked in, I looked up at him, and he goes, "Ted Nugent." He calls me Ted Nugent because he knows I want to hear Stranglehold. And
That's your
we
jam.
all got a big kick out of that when he called me Ted Nugent. But there's some, they'll come down and hug you and shake your hand. Man, you guys are back in town, because they know we have fun with them. And if you have fun with them and don't be rude or crazy, they love the interactions down there. Just a great town. If you go and you want to relax, yes, the beverages are a little pricey. Learn how to pace yourself, and but it's great. A lot of the venues have got 3 floors, the first,
I'm just
second,
telling
and
people not to
on
pace
rooftop.
themselves.
Oh yeah, but it's a great place. I mean, I love Nashville, and some of my racers are coming down to see me.
Uh-oh.
Corky and Mike Wolford's coming down. Vicky and George Warren's
That's what
coming
I know when you
down.
make those trips, you like making stops and seeing some people
All
and
right.
catching up.
Yeah. On my way down, I'm going to be stopping and seeing Cindy Summers, Tommy Turner, Wanda. We're going to see them on Sunday, and then we'll head on into Nashville later on that afternoon. We'll go downtown, and Jim Costello and his wife from Illinois are coming down. He runs Super Gas. So it's going to be neat. We're going to see a lot of people. We always get to see Mike Fuqua, stop in once in a while. Mike's been world champion with IHRA. Been multiple champion winner. National events were in HRAs. And Mike, he still dabbles. His son drag races a lot now. And then Mike's into them big fast boats now. So he's usually tied in with that. But he'll come in. So and everything. And a neat story there is, we always like to do a few stories here and there. We go down one year, and I have this former police officer and his wife with me, and they had been drinking pretty heavy. Mike says, "Anybody first time in
Disclaimer,
Nashville?
Faye, I did not approve that on this show. Disclaimer.
Anybody's first time in Nashville?" Of course, Faye goes, and shots of tequila. And so
If you don't know Faye out there, this is.
And she was on a pass right then and there, and she didn't need the tequila. So we're winding up. She's got one, and then he gets Hippo says, "I won't do tequila." He said, "I'll do a shot of Crown." And Mike, okay, they go, everybody ready? Yep. Welcome to Nashville, down the hatch run. So Hippo, my buddy, goes, "Okay, you ready for another one?" And Mike looked at him like, "What?" Because he wasn't ready to do a second that quick.
It's called a buyback.
Oh,
yeah. Second round, you got to get into it.
"Oh, you're ready already?" But it was funny. Wait, Mike's eyes lit up like, "What?" So, and of course, Miss Faye, we had to, oh my God, we had to pour her in a cab. And she was in the restroom most of the evening looking for Ralph to see if he had any new Buicks for sale. And poor God love her. Next day, she was a little rough under the gills. I said, "Hey, have a hair of the dog, right?"
Hey, hair of the dog.
And she's going, "Oh, I'm not ready." But about 4:00 in the afternoon, she was finally ready. So
love it.
Hell yeah, it's a great town. Got to go if you haven't ever been. Try to make it sometime. So
Well, I love, when we go that memory lane.
Oh,
So it
here we
is that
go,
that time
brother.
of year,
Yeah.
that time of the show.
Well, my first little car here is a Falcon, about the first year, 60, 61. And he had a big motor beefed up in it. He was running modified production. And he had a Maltese cross on the side of it. And he called the car, remember the names? The Exterminator.
The
Yeah,
exterminator.
he
That's
was.
back when you get like hip cool names like
Hell
that. Now
yes.
you're like afraid of that. And everyone's like
Yeah.
the dandelion.
Yeah, he was a bad cat at Edgewater too, and he ran there a lot. And it was a good car. It was a modified car, and there's a '57 Chevrolet next to it, which was a color of mine.
I was
But
just gonna
that's
ask
a
you about that.
two-door post car. I had a two-door hardtop, and my mom says, "What are you doing drag racing?" When she saw that picture, I said, "That's not me."
As I ask some questions here,
Yeah.
let me ask you, because like in the middle here, explain what's going on with the employees and all that as well.
All
I mean,
right.
this is one of the first ones where there's a
That's
lot
what
of
see the
crowd that I
starter.
really love, but we got
Mhm.
the starter and all that and the board. So explain a little bit what's happening there.
Well, he's watching them staging. He's
Mhm.
there. He's not tripping the lights, but he's there making sure they don't go across or I can't. Oh, you can't. Well, you might be
I'll let
able
you
to
have it
see the
back there.
beams right
Yep,
there,
yep.
and you see the beams. He's watching them creep in and everything. And when they're ready, they're both set. Then he would point towards a tree, and they'd flip the button. Back in the day, and then this is that grandstand I told you about. It was on
I
this
remember that
side.
because they look like they're
Angle.
sitting.
Look at that. There's packed, and then look at that other side over there.
They're 6 deep on the other
Oh
side.
heck yeah! And that was the pit area. And that's how good it was. I mean, you'd see these old cars like this car. It was stout. It was probably 289 punched out, beefed up a little bit.
This is probably one of the best photos we've had on here. I mean, just for
Oh,
the complete visuals, you get the crew, you get the
mm-hmm,
two of the cars.
mm-hmm.
Look at the crowd.
Oh,
That's a heck of a capture there, Redman.
I'm telling you, them were the good
And this is
days.
that grandstand that you said you
It
really
was
like
on an
kind of sneaking
angle.
up to
Yeah.
so you
Oh
get
yeah.
get that good
That's where
shot.
that's where I was sitting the night that I told you a story last one about the guy got the nightstick over the head and they loaded him up in the back. I was sitting in them stands watching it that night. But yeah, them were the great times, I tell you.
Wow, that's an
That
awesome
was
one,
fun.
brother. That's an awesome
And the next one, he goes a lot of races. We'll have more pictures of different cars of his. Is Buddy Mullins. Buddy Mullins
So
now
we'll
ran
remember
a
that name, Buddy
55.
Mullins. We'll remember that
Right.
name.
His car was called the Mohonker.
Mohonker. All
Mohonker,
right, now
yes.
I like play on words. I like the puns.
Yeah. And
That's what we need there.
this 55 was bad. It was a little rough, and he redid it later on, which I have a picture of it. We'll get to it eventually, where he redid the car and really made it a nice piece. And then later on, he had an Anglia. He crashed, and then the killer car he had later on was an Opel that ran H gas, and I believe F and H. I believe it fell in, and or G and H, but it was a bad car. Buddy was pretty stout. He was a cantankerous boy. He would get upset and he'd get all wound up and hot headed and I think finally built a few of his motors, Dick. And then Buddy was an avid bowler. And for people that live
Those kind
around,
of go hand in hand.
yeah,
The racers and bowlers. Well, you had the summertime and then the winter sports,
right.
so
Well,
it's easy
Buddy
to.
now was pretty stout. He used to bowl there, if you know where a lot of the folks on here, if you're in our area, where Tri-State was at, you go on up 128. There was a bowling alley as you pull into Hamilton there on the right. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I think they called it Columbia, didn't they? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I think
But that's
it's
where
still there.
yeah,
It's still there on the
yeah,
right
that's
hand
where
side.
he bowled a lot.
Actually, a
And
beautiful facility. If you're looking to take the family somewhere, there's a place right next to it with volleyball courts. Actually, a good friend of mine, Hugh
yeah,
Volley, whose dad
yeah,
runs at Edgewater, he plays volleyball there. Was raving about the food, so check that out up there.
yeah, and it sits right on the old Big Miami River, the bowling alley does.
Oh, beautiful view as
Yeah, it's a
well.
neat place. Buddy was stout, good racer back in the day. And that takes care of the pictures today. So we'll get into our mini celebration, and I'm going to do a couple of
Celebration.
officials for you. Hopefully, people will remember these folks. One's Ron Cook. Ron was our Division III director. He was like after Dave Dandish.
That's where it sounds familiar.
Yeah, and he ran the division for a lot of years. Ron did, and then he finally stepped down and he moved to Florida because he was out of Columbus, Ohio, and he wound up down in Florida.
That's what you do in Ohio.
Yeah, and he wound up getting on Division.
Now you go to Arizona.
Yeah, but he got on Division II certification team, and he helped them for the last few years that he worked the races, and then we lost Ron a few years back. But Ron was a good guy. He tried hard. I worked with him. We bucked heads a few times, but we saw eye to eye, and we'd come to a
Well, I
mutual
think that's
in the
the
middle.
beautiful thing. Sometimes when you're like in, it's so intense out there on the track.
Hmm.
Sometimes, I mean, you got to take care of it. The fans got to be happy. The drivers got to be, and the safety, the crew's got to be,
Hmm.
happy. It's intense,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, you realize we're all here for the same reason.
Well, Ron started with NHRA about like a year before I did, and Ron used to be in with couple guys out of Columbus on a street roadster, Raider and Cook, and I can't remember who the third name might have been earlier in their days. Real pretty little street roadster, ran like A and B, and it was a real stout car. I got a picture of it later on. We'll come up with it and we'll remind everybody of it. But he was involved in that, and then he got on the certification team, and Ron was our division director from 80, I want to say, when Keith Farrell took over until through Jay for a while, and then he finally stepped down. Next guy is a character. Now, this next guy was out of the Louisville area. Travis Miller, if you watch me, you're going to know this man. Frank Shedfield, old Frank. Frank was a ball-headed boy, big guy. Wore the earring in his ear, shaved head. Looked like Mr. Clean, that's what I call him. Mr. Clean. Frank was a wheeler dealer.
Mr. Cleaning up on at the
Oh,
track.
my God. Frank could get in and out of more things, and I don't know who, but he was like, oh, at one time he got doing this, he was helping sell this rim polish and stuff, and he was a character. But one thing about Frank, he was good. He treated the racer good. He was involved in a race car years ago, a six-banging modified car down in Louisville. Thinking it was sponsored by Two East Garage. I'll have pictures of it, that one later too. And he was involved in that for years. Frank was, there's so many stories I could tell of Frank, but we'll tell one that's kind of funny, or a couple maybe. But
there's probably more stories you can't
Oh
tell.
my goodness!
Probably more
But
you
we're gonna
can't
pull them
tell.
off if we can.
Hey, we might start a Patreon with the stories we can't tell.
Oh yeah, but Frank was he was involved with me when we decided to help the racers, and we suggested that how all of you go from Bowling Green to Indy, and you had to find places to park or park along the old road out there and everything, and maybe get a chance to be hit. We talked to Linwood Dupree one year and said, look, we're coming out of Bowling Green. Why don't we park these boys on Monday? And they go, really? I said, yeah, let's get them off the street. We'll get them off the street to get in, settle down. They'll go spend their money all over town, wherever they
Have a
go.
good time. They feel comfortable. They feel safe.
Yeah.
They're not worried about it.
And that's how we got started parking. Yeah, the Sunday, Monday of the U.S. Nationals, which has helped immensely because, man, when those rigs, especially after a bunch of them, you got to wiggle and jiggle, get them into spots. But yeah, it helped out. But a cute story on Franco. This going to be a little cute and ornery at the same time. We're at the banquet, Division III banquet now. Frank's in tuxedo, right, by himself. He is. All the rest of us are coupled off. And he's sitting at the table, been drinking a pitcher of fuzzy navels. Now, so we're eating a meal and everything else. And Frank, all of a sudden, I look over at him, he's blood red in the face. And all of a sudden, there's this odor in the air, right? And he looks right over to this lady and goes, well, Karen, and blamed it on
and that's
her.
The best name.
And
That's
to
the
his
best name
dying
there.
day,
Is that real, Karen? Is her name really?
And he, to his dying day, said he never done it.
What?
Hell yeah. Another time he went to a banquet, right? He gets drinking them fuzzy navels. Now he goes with a pro stock driver.
We got a common denominator, fuzzy navels.
Oh yeah. And he goes to this pretty high-class banquet with Frank Sanchez, who ran pro stock. Frank's sitting there talking, all of a sudden, right in his plate of mashed potatoes, and everybody's looking at him like,
hey, they're delicious.
But he was so funny. He was such a character. I tell you what, make you laugh. You couldn't help but like. He'd make you mad, but he'd make you laugh. That's how crazy Frank was. But he was a hoot to work with. I liked old Frank. He was a dandy.
If there's a break in a clip here, it's because I'm laughing.
Oh God, yeah,
there's a break.
He was so funny. He like I said, he was a character. All right, now we was getting into we got into our names a little bit. We give two on our cars here. Two more well, actually three, but first one's Tom the Mongoose McEwen. How can you not
The
forget the
mongoose.
Mongoose? Sponsored by the Navy,
Nice.
Mattel Toy Company.
Man, he might have got some big sponsors.
Oh yeah, he had English leather one year. Won the U.S. Nationals after many, many years of trying in funny car with his English leather Corvette, which I believe is in the museum out in California. And Tom was a heck of a driver. And later on, he drives some really wild, crazy things. He had a '57 funny car they tried to make run, but it was pretty neat. But it couldn't run with the boys. So, but Tom was a great driver. Um, he was him and the snake. That was how you
The
got it
mongoose and the
started.
snake.
The snake, yes.
I mean, I was
And
even thinking in my mind, like the natural is the cobra, the
yeah,
snake,
they
the
they
mongoose.
ran under the Mattel Toy Company sponsorship, and then they wound up in the Coca-Cola All Stars, and they'd be following
Wow.
that deal. Another couple East Coast cars were neat back in the day. One was called the Flying Dutchman, and he was a hoot.
From
Van,
SpongeBob?
the East Coast, and he was from I think Massachusetts, somewhere over in there. Vanderwoody was his name. Had a weird last name, Vanderwoody. And he would run. He did a lot of match racing. He'd run a national event here and there. But match racing was big back in the day for funny cars. And a lot of guys that weren't real fast ran the match race circuit because guaranteed money.
Mhm.
You know, put on the show, do the burnouts. Who cares who wins? You know, the crowd's into the burnouts
Well,
and the
yeah, it's
noise.
about bringing that. Well, it's something. Oh, a lot of like bring the crowd in for everybody.
So he ran Edgewater once. He'd been into Edgewater one time. Scott, I think that's, I want to say Scott. It's not Scott. Al maybe, but he'd been to Edgewater once or twice. Real pretty green car, and it was called the Flying Dutchman. Another guy on the East Coast I really liked. He was the same way, mostly match racing in a circuit to where he ran national events here and there. It was called the Yankee Peddler, and that was a neat car, and it was a good car out of the East Coast. I'm thinking his last name was Glenn, and if it is, then he's related to the boy that's running Pro Stock now, Glenn, that's winning a lot of events now. But I'm not sure if that's a car or not, but it could be. But that's a few of the names for this week as we keep plugging away with neat car names. That's what I like.
I love it. You know, that's one of the things that we need to come back. And I'm starting to see it grow a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I come from that world of professional wrestling. It's all about over the top characters. But if you had a car today, what would you name?
Oh God, I don't know.
I think I'd either go like with like a U.S. theme or like.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'd have to say.
You know, it's kind of hard though because in another tip out there, if you're going to name a car, just don't go with something that sounds amazing. Look at something you can trademark.
Yeah, well,
You know,
guys.
so you can merchandise later if you start going. Like I'm thinking in my head, like I would love like a dragster called the Ultimate Warrior, but I know that's trademark.
Well, you could also like the driver. You don't necessarily, the car has to have a name. Like, you know, like I told you, car drivers even have names, you know, the Hammer, the this, you know, it's like a wrestler, you had the Hammer.
I'm actually
Greg,
good friends
the Hammer
with
Valentine.
well, not Hammer Valentine, but the Hammer Charles Alfred's a good friend of mine from OVW.
So see, you can have that too.
You know.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'd do a name or do a car name. I'd have to sit and think about that a while.
Come on, we totally missed the easy one.
Oh God,
Redman, it's a podcast.
Man,
yeah, it blows by.
Oh yeah. Well, you could have Redman in the house on the car. Right. You could have a lot of things. An old buddy used to nickname me. Well, I have many numerous nicknames. Redman was Buster, but at Siggins I was called Redbird. And then my buddy called me Red Dog.
People have shown me some photos of you back in the day. But you got a very distinct look. You love it there. Now, you know, outside of just naming it, you got to hit the whole production. You got to have yourself some bugs. Yeah.
But
you know, all that.
I had a buddy named Foxy, and we talked about his dad earlier in segments, and he used to call me Flogging Floyd. He'd say, "Hey, Flogging, what are you doing?" No, I thought, you know, that must be a catchy name, Flogging. There goes Flogging.
Maybe in Germany.
Who knows? But it was crazy. And all right, to finalize up things today is we got into families, right? We got into
We love family.
either
We're family
father,
here on the show.
son,
We're
or
family here at the VFW.
yes, and you know, we started out with man and wives, and I'll probably come back with some when some pop off in my head, but that's why I transferred to the families. And first one I'll talk about is from Pennsylvania, the Warners. There was Tim, Dad, and then the twin boys, Byron and Brian. And Tim, we lost a few years back. He ran those Mobile Cutlass and GT, division champion numerous times in that car. A great driver. I told a cute story on him about the tornado. Remember getting his seatbelts on, helmet on that time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was Tim. And the boys are great racers. Both of them, both of them's been world champion, I believe. And then they've both been division champion numerous times. Firefighters, good kids. Both of them are firefighters. I don't know how you say it. Is it Duncan and or something? They're in over there in PA's where they're out of. But great racers, both of them, and run super stock. Another father-son team out of the East Coast I like. I think they were from Connecticut. Is Ed Betnez and his son Todd. Now Ed run a big Nova, run like B stock. He was a big B stock Hammer 4-speed boy. And Ed likes driving them. He was in that, and then Todd come along later, ran a Camaro on F and G stick, and then he's gone into an automatic now and then. But great racers from the East Coast. I met Ed and them. Used to be a big group that come over, Ed and Jimmy Boudreau and a whole bunch of them guys that come together, LeBron's. And I met them used to when I'd work Englishtown. They were just great people over there.
Very awesome.
And then out of Louisville is Charlie, which would be the grandfather, Chuck and Joey, the boys, and then Tyler Bohannon's. Oh, bad racers here. Charlie.
Bad
racers. Charlie would run gas back in the days. Yeah, I think he had an Anglia. And then Chuck and Joey ran super stock. Chuck had a Corvette. He ran a Camaro for a while, and then he went into a Corvette, which he won numerous events with. And then Joey had a Camaro. And then Joey kind of stepped back and let Tyler get in it. Tyler started running. And then Tyler, he's grown up now. He's running that Tyler Bohannon Productions where they put on these big bracket races. And Tyler's run super stock. He's also into super comp, dragsters and everything. So, yeah, Tyler's really stout. And that's 3 of the families this week that keep the sport going and the evolution, keeping it moving.
Absolutely love it. We'll wrap some things up here. Apologize, though. We try to hit that sweet spot there, but we had so much fun this week. There was a lot to cover coming out of the holiday weekend. We'll get caught up. He's ready to hit the road. We're gonna have some awesome stories from that road trip.
Yeah, I'll give you some road trip tips when I get back.
All right, I was gonna say, we're gonna have a full breakdown. We'll make just a special for that last week, your trip, some road trip,
and
things.
Then we'll have a little maybe car show to cover on the 19th. I got a car show out here on the 19th.
I told you I just say numbers on my thing. My
thing
looks ridiculous. Yours
that'll be on
mine's are ridiculous.
Yeah, that'll be on a Sunday. So hopefully you're available.
I think I'm available.
And be able to come in. I know that you're
Mama Nan's food's available.
Oh God, yeah, Mama Nan's food truck. But I know you're getting so busy now and popular. I'm probably gonna have to get a lasso to keep him around.
Hey, ladies, I'm available. Hey, how about this? Let's wrap it up here. Redman, anything else you'd like to touch on before we get out?
Just everybody be safe out there. Try to find some fun in life. And like I said, we all watch in politics. Let's just let it go.
Let it go. Enjoy America the way that it should be. Enjoy racing the way that it should be. Get out to your local tracks. Have a lot of fun. Bring your friends. Bring your family. Bring the community. Hey, bring them right here to our show. Please like and share our content. Yes. But you've been listening to another episode of Redman in the House. Hey, it's fun.